going to turn these numbers around. But we can do it. But it has to start with one, as I posted something. If some of you seen the song I put up from the classic movie Sparkles, where she was having a hard time trying. She was in the booth, and she was lacking confidence. And I put up there, I said, um, men come to restore the confidence in their woman, but real women allow the man, she trusts him to lead. That's what I said. Real men come to restore the confidence in women, but real women trust him enough to allow him to lead. And so he began to sing the song. He said, "You did great the other day, but now you're in here by yourself and we're about to do a show. You're overthinking the process. You're overthinking the process." So it took him recognizing his woman's nature, to walk inside the booth to make sure that he was able to give her that confidence, to rebuild that confidence, to let her know that you can do this. And he started singing the song. Well, even though that was the recording studio, it was still a room. It was still a sanctuary, right? It was still their heavenly place or space here on earth, where he was able to connect with her. And this is the problem I oftentimes see as it relates to us African Americans within our own community. We're not connecting anymore. We're not going into our own sanctuary to speak to that woman or speak to that man correctly. Not in front of the children. Close the door. Don't air out all your dirty laundry. Go in there and work those situations out. So, Tim, I'll come to you on that because I want to be able to share some insights regarding this room too, that I had no idea until I started researching this topic. But go ahead.
Well, when you lose that physical touch, that mental and spiritual touch with each other, when you disconnect from each other, it leads for things. So men, we have to make sure we keep connected. Because if we don't do that, the women will dress for the streets instead of the sheets. Let me say it again. The women will dress for the streets instead of the sheets, meaning that she won't be in there making sure she's intimate and dressed in a sensual manner for you. She'll be dressing for the streets outside. And so we don't want our women dressing for the streets. We want them dressing for the sheets. And that's with us. So
yeah. Say it again. You say that one more time. Say you want dressing for the streets. Say it again. I'm gonna let you say it since you said it, Tim.
Yeah, we don't want women dressing for the streets. We want them dressing for the sheets.
Right.
So we got to keep, and that connection ain't just because she has a duty to do so. It's because we make her feel comfortable, feel welcome, and we encourage and lift her up, lift her spirits up, and let her know. And she knows she's safe with us. She knows that actually we care about her and love her. And so we always that connection because of that.
Absolutely. No, I mean, and you're spot on. But now let me share this with you all. Something that I'm always fond in talking about how traffic information have, man, since God's blessed me and enlightened me on a lot of different subject matters, allowed me to look deeper into the situation and not look at it just on the surface, right? So this is what I'm gonna share this with you all. This is what I found out about the bedroom. Now in Texas, the legal footage, I'll put it like that. The legal footage, did y'all know this? That the legal footage in Texas to make a room, the bedroom, it has to be, I want to make sure I get this correct. Hold on just a second. I want to make sure I get this correct. Okay. Yeah, it talks about the floor area. It has to be no less than 70 square feet. Listen to me carefully. I'm going to come back to that number in just a second. That the floor square has to be no less than 70 square feet and not less than 7 feet in any horizontal dimension. Now I'm going to say it again. The floor area of a bedroom, the main bedroom, can't be, according to Texas law, can't be no less than 70 square feet in footage, not less than 7 feet in any horizontal dimension. And I'm just going to pause just a second for that, because I study a little bit of the numerology and symbolisms, and And I understand. So, and this is another reason what connected me back to the scriptures. Because I said to myself, now let me doesn't mean that you can't go up in square footage, because you can go up to 80 square feet. Doesn't mean you can't go up. What it's saying, it can't be less than that though. So you can't come with talking about 69 square feet or 65 square feet, and you got a main bedroom. This is what it's saying, okay? I'm just clarifying. I know y'all getting it, but I'm just clarifying it. But here's the beauty behind 70 from a scriptural standpoint, and the number 7, horizontal. Horizontal goes parallel up. Now it can go vertically out, but it goes parallel up from earth to heaven, because 7 is a completed number. 7 is a perfected number. 7 is a number of completion, but it also represents like 7 days of the week, 7 layers of skin, right? A woman, when she's actually expecting a child, she can actually give birth to a child in 7 months. It doesn't necessarily have to be 9 months, okay? She can actually do it in 7 months. So the number 7 is a heavenly bound number. It's all in perfection. And the 70, right, means that you're starting out the cycle all over again, because 0 represents the circle of life, and that you're starting the process all over again, right? Once you complete one task, you pick up another task. Then you start the process all over again, right? So whatever's going on in a relationship, this is why this is so important and key, because in a relationship, every day is not a sunny day. Every day is not a cloudy day. Every day is not a rainy day. And whatever happens within the relationship, you have to have your best foot forward. You have to be able to perfect your steps, and you have to be prepared to start it all over again. As they say, sometimes you have to reinvent the relationship, because like this is my, hey Sharon, how you doing? I see she I have her up here. She said the bedroom is definitely where we let our guards down. Yeah. And I agree. And this is one of the reasons why we have to start the process all over again, even if that means that we have to learn from one another, because we're not the same. If you've been married 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years with a person, and I said this many months ago, that the theory is simply this. We go by the theory of evolution, said that every 7 years we're all evolving. Every 7 years we are evolving. So if you're 49, the next 7 years will be your 56 and 63, and so on and so forth. So we are evolving. So how can you say this individual is the same person that you met 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago? No. What we all need to do is check the measurements. And I'm fond of saying, I think it was Bernard Shaw, and y'all heard me I quoted this before. I said, he stated that my tailor knows me best because he always checks my measurements, while other people continue with the same measurements year in and year out. So if you're with a person and you're truly committed to this person, you truly want to see this person either put you, well, you won't see them if they put you in the grave, but you know my point. If you all are supposed to bury one another, right? Then it is imperative. It's imperative that you check the meter with this individual or with each other on a daily basis, because we're all cycling through this symbolic number. And so for them to have that as the requirement, I don't think it was just a mishap, because again, when we look at it from a scriptural perspective, the room that is sacred in all of the houses is the room where the wife and the husband is supposed to procreate, supposed to pray in, supposed to discuss any business that goes on within that household to make sure that they're together. Because if y'all can't get it together inside their bedroom, then don't expect anybody else on the outside. See, that's deep-seated thinking. That's in your own sanctuary of your own house. And I know the scripture speaks about that as well, because it goes into what it says when it talks about that same verse in 1 Corinthians, talks about so that you may not deprive yourself, but make sure that you pray. And then it goes on to say, then come together then come together again, so that Satan would not tempt you and due to lack of self-control, for lack of self-control. So you're supposed to come together, not just on a physical level, brothers, not just on the physical level, brothers. You're supposed to come together intellectually, because the greatest thing that you can do is to come together to have intimacy in the mind, to cultivate the mind, to develop the mind, to have a sexual orientation intellectually, to stimulate the mind. That's the best or the higher cultivation anyone can give. Because if you set that right, I guarantee you, and I'm speaking specifically to the brothers right quick, if we set that right, I can rest assure you that the whole evening that you so desire will go in your favor. But when that balance is not on, when that energy is not right, as Tim was talking about, alluded to a second ago, when the frequency is low, you don't have high energy, you haven't leveled up because you appropriated yourself, or you had some missteps in the relationship. This is the problem that goes on. So I think fundamentally, we have to get back to the basics and the fundamental of not cheating the bedroom. Because I know when I put that post up there, I said, let me put some qualifications on this, because I don't want people to think that the mind is in the gutter. Because if you've been listening to me long enough on this program, I'm always trying to level up. I'm always trying to reach another plane. I'm always trying to strive for excellence. I'm always trying to use the greatest anatomy, or the greatest thing that we have, the gift that God has given us, is the mind. Because without that, you're really nothing, Tim. But go ahead, Tim.
One of the places that this exercise is, well, so important to actually make that room comfortable again, is conflict resolution. And so we have a time sometime when we're in disagreement, when we disengage, when we're not feeling each other, when things didn't go the way we wanted to go, when we're having that conversation and one has one viewpoint, another one has another one. This is where so many times couples are ill-equipped. Either you go to therapy or you've worked on it yourself, and you need to be able to have a conversation that's transparent, but more than anything else, one is actually true for both of you. And also, it has to have decorum with it. See, decorum is really important. To hurt another person that you love, you don't do that to the person on the street. So you want to have decorum. You have a sense of the other person's feelings, or thinking about them when you express yourself. You can't be selfish even in your expression. And a lot of times people get to where they say, "Hey, I get real. I say exactly what I feel and what's going on." Yeah, where that's gonna get you if you start to hurt other people in your expression. So the other person's, what they do is they reciprocate. Then they start to hurt you with their expressions. Both of them are being real now, and you call it real. Well, that's not conflict resolution. Conflict resolution is actually seeing what the problem is and kind of getting to that place, not necessarily hurting each other, but saying things in a delicate manner, not to be sweet and soft on it. No, not that purpose, but to actually say it like you care about the person. Come to a resolution, so you get back to the intimacy that you want in your bedroom. So then you can go in and you can have those deep talks. But the deep talks start a lot of time because what happens is you stop holding each other. You stop touching each other. You stop smiling with each other. You stop kissing each other. And that right there can stop a whole thing. Especially if you're a couple that kiss, and then you stop the kissing. Oh, you now, because that's one of the most intimate things you can do. Kiss. So when you stop these type of things, that's some things that need to be resolved. So There's a way before that we get to resolving things and talking through things and getting to a place. And sometimes you'll be at a place where, and this is where it get complex, because everybody feel like they can talk through stuff. But the complex is that life has actually thrown a bone at you, made things a little difficult, and it ain't gonna happen overnight. It just ain't gonna happen overnight. So you got to have a resolve of joy within you that, hey, we're gonna weather this. We're gonna find our joy, because joy comes from within. That's your spiritual, the spiritual God in you is your joy. You're gonna find that place, because joy doesn't depend on what's happening. Happiness does. You're either happy, and depends on what's happening, you're not happy, right? So we want to be spiritually based. So you want to have your joy from within. And so this will get you to the bedroom, back in the bedroom, so you can do all the intimate things that actually make you so special as a couple.
Right. And I think I'm gonna say this is, I think Selena, because she posted out, she said, what about having the TV in the room? I feel it's a distraction and creates a distance. And these are just thoughts. Well, I'll just, and you can answer that too, Tim. I'll reread if you can see it okay, but I'll answer that first, because it can be a distraction if you allow it to. See, that's where the communication comes back. It just depends on. Remember, I just stated about mutual assent. The scripture talks about mutual assent or mutual consent, having an agreement, having a conversation. What time is it? So to speak. Are we on the same page? Because what happens a lot of times, we're not, because either the man is doing one thing and the woman is doing something else, and there's no communication, and then we are left to assume, and we all know what assuming is, right? So I think it comes down to, because there's nothing wrong if you got it's your sanctuary, right? Between you and your husband and your wife. So if you have a nice big flat screen TV, and you all want to have an intimate moment to watch a movie or sit back in the bed and eat popcorn and enjoy that time or that peace together, um it's all about the communication aspect of it. So I feel as though it can only be a distraction is if there's no uh rules that are being in place, are being asserted. There's a breakdown in the communication. But you say what to that, Tim?
Well, I have two thoughts. Like right now, I haven't for a long time had a TV in my bedroom. So don't keep one, because when I'm here, I do all the things that we spoke about before. Meditate, pray, um, find my peace. Do my thinking, do my vision, and all that stuff. And then, of course, any intimacy as well, right? So conversation. I'm not just talking about physical. So conversation as well too. But when I have, you're a couple and you have kids in the home, right? The TV actually can be a place where you both can actually start to watch programs that you both like to watch together. It can be a place where actually you go and you bond together by watching stuff together. Now, like you said before, if she watching a program that you don't like, or you watch a program she doesn't like, and you watch it in the bedroom, then you disconnect it again. See, so to me, if you use that as a bonding phase where you watch things together, then that's cool. And then pretty much watch everything else somewhere else. That's okay to me. That works. And so that's just a rule that I feel that actually will work pretty well. Of course, there'll
Sure.
be watch something which called, y'all disconnected. That person's reading. You got some earphones on because they got all kind of technology now. You can put your earphones on and listen to someone
Sure.
doing some reading or something else, right? So there's
Right.
ways something different and can do it. But on the most part, you want to be connected. You want to use that as a time to actually connect together.
Right. Well, I totally agree. And I want to ask you all out there in Facebook as well as on Instagram. I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, do you think that